Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Duncan Foster Engineering. Welcome back to another episode of Classic Restos, and on this week's show it's devoted to our Ford fraternity. But before I go any further, these people would like to see you. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. For oils, coolants, additives and technical assistance, oil right, use Penrite. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. There is no doubt that the Ford product runs deep with countless thousands. We are lucky here in Australia to hold a wonderful Ford legacy, and although we see some industry changes that may not be so exciting, we do, however, have this, one of the largest Ford shows in the country. Welcome to the 26th Annual Kiwanis Club of Geelong All Ford Day. Need we say more? The mighty Ford product has countless runs on the board globally, and of course here in Australia. The robust Falcon, the longest running model until its demise in recent times, has helped to transport a nation and has etched itself into the hearts of millions of supporters. From the humble sales rep's car, come taxi cab, family truckster, through to legendary racing cars, the Falcon is one iconic rolling masterpiece of local Ford testament. Ford built many models, small cars through to their American-inspired luxury models powered by Windsor and Cleveland V8s. Today's show is a celebration. Kiwanis do an incredible job here, along with Graham Munro and his team of devoted people. The Geelong All Ford Day showcases the cars we love, and whether you're a Holden person, like to drive Valiants or Volkswagens, Datsuns or Daimlers, Mazdas or Maseratis, we have to appreciate locally built products and the kaleidoscopes of moving history that surrounds them. I think most car guys are appreciating all the classic brands these days. After all, these are the only ones left. This guy needs no introduction. We have race car legend Allan Moffat. How are you, Allan?
Well, I woke up breathing this morning. That's pretty good. But by the time I got to Geelong, I'm still frozen.
It's always a bonus to wake up breathing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a help. Yeah, it is a help. Yeah.
Allan, I've got to ask you, it's a pleasure to interview you once again. We did that a couple of years ago here at the All Ford Day. And again, my question to you for this year, for 2017, how does it feel to be here?
Cold. Absolutely cold, and we were used to a flat track. We were used to racing around the circuit with the water in front of us, and now we're looking at this hill that I don't know how anybody's going to get back up this hill with all the rain we're having. Yeah.
An emotional tug at the heartstrings for you to be standing here in front of XY Falcons. How does it make you feel?
Well, they served me well, and I was happy to work for Ford when they were inclined to help me out, and I'm here happy.
Allan, I think that the whole ambience of this event, though, being surrounded by Fords and being such a major part of your life and your career, is it something that you do look back on, and does it make you feel very proud of the accomplishment that you did so long ago?
Yes, because when you think about it, how far back we're talking and how many cars that I went through, like 50 different cars, I think I worked hard for my money.
Yeah, good on you.
Okay.
Always a pleasure, Allan. I'm going to let you get back to it. You need to get back to that tent over there and get yourself warm.
Yeah, I'll try that right now, too.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks, Allan.
You better do your shirt up, too.
And we move on from one race car legend to another. Freddie Gibson. It's always great to see you, Fred.
Fletch, good to be here. Well, amongst all these super Fords, aren't they, really?
Yeah, actually, before we go any further, I'm quite surprised you remember who I am.
No, I know about you. I see you on TV, so you're the man, and you've interviewed me quite a few times there.
Yeah. I have, Fred. Look, same as I've asked Alan, I mean, the feeling that you guys must get being here, surrounded by the cars that you cut your teeth on the racetracks years ago. With yourself, it just wasn't driving the big Falcons. I mean, the Escort behind us, you drove those as well.
Yeah, I had Alan had it, really. It was the little Ford Motor Company Escort, and we raced that in Singapore in the Manila, and it was a great little car. It was a BDA Escort. I raced it in Singapore a couple of times over there when Al Turner was the boss. So, like, having raced the Escorts, and this little one here today is an immaculate little car being restored by a young guy. And the whole thing is, you look at those sort of cars, but then you look at the Falcons that are here today, and all the Ford products here today, and it brings back many memories.
You love it, don't you? I can tell.
Oh, it's great. It's great to see people still talk to you at the age we are now and what we've done over the years. But I think about, it's 50 years this year of when Harry and I won Bathurst, 50 years ago.
I go back to the black and white videos that the Seven Network released many years ago, back in the 80s.
You're that old, are you? Black and white videos.
No, I can just say that I remember them, Fred. It would have been worse if I featured on them.
Yeah, exactly.
But back in the 80s, when Seven released the early Bathurst footage, when you're in the dark green XR Falcon, running the 289 and doing so well, winning Bathurst, how did you get the drive of that car?
I was lucky then. I had my business in Sydney, Road and Track Auto Services, and I started looking after the Ford press fleet cars for Ford Motor Company in New South Wales. And a guy called Max Ward was the PR manager then. Wardy used to call him. And I did a lot of things for Ford back in those days, promotions and things. So all of a sudden, when Frank Maddich couldn't get back into the country, he was going to drive with Harry. Wardy rang me and said, "Did I want to go to Bathurst and drive the car with Harry?" I'd never driven the car till a week before, never saw the race car till a Friday at Bathurst, and we finished up winning the race because it was a great car.
Such different times. I mean, I think Peter Brock had the same or a similar sort of a story where he was watching, might have been in 1963, 1964, and he said, "I want to race on this track," and 2 years later he was. I mean, a young bloke these days can't do that.
No, well, my first Bathurst was in 1965 when I drove an MG twin cam before the first 500. And I drove an MG that race, and the second year I drove an 850 Mini. So I've been at Bathurst since the first of the 500 started.
And of course the transition too through into the 80s as well when you joined with the Nissan team. And that worked fairly well for you as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I was very fortunate when Howard Marsden moved from Ford Motor Company when they stopped motorsport and moved to Nissan. I got involved with Howard then and stayed with Howard right through the Nissan days, really. And that was really something special in building the GDR, particularly the GDR, because that won Bathurst with Scafie and Rich Owens sort of thing. So, no, I've had a great life in motorsport.
Well, it's not over yet. And just in ending, Fred, the names yourselves here being attracted to such an event here. I mean, Graham Munro and the Kiwanis team here putting on the All Ford show for 2017. What's your thoughts on the event?
Well, it just grows bigger every year. We were here last year, and it's amazing. I think where they are this year now, circuit like on the grass here is fantastic. It shows off the cars really well, and the people that are here now, it's amazing. It's mind-boggling sort of thing to see all the special cars.
Good on you, Fred. Look, it's always an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. I always enjoy having a chat with you, and next time I'll push the record button.
Thanks, Fletch. Thanks for that.
Yeah, all right, mate. You are watching the 2017 Geelong Kiwanis All Ford Day, and I know that you're seeing it first on Classic Restos. Back with more right after this.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannons.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Look at these restoration products: shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range.
Penrite, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy-duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. Penrite, Australian-made for Australian conditions since 1926.
Moving on through this huge expanse of Fords here at Geelong, we have Stuart. How you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks, Fletch. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Now, you've got a bit of a story here with this XY. I think it's a brilliant one. I want to share it with the audience. What can you tell us?
Well, it's a 71 XY GT, but it was first built for an employee back at the Geelong factory in 71. Then it was his for 12 months, and then it's been a Geelong car ever since. And then an old fella had it, he drag raced it for a few years. And then the old fella I bought it off, he put it up on blocks in 91 to hot the motor up, were his words, and I've got it out in 2014. And today's its first drive since 1991. Hasn't been on the road since, so today's its first drive.
Now, isn't that an amazing story? For a car to be parked up since 1991, it's still supporting its the Rego label as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, it still is, yep. And it's only done 42,000 mile from new.
God, the poor girl needs a run, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it does now. Original paint, everything Fletch. It's all original, hasn't been touched yet.
Now, because the car has been parked up for so long, Stuart, how did it drive?
Yeah, not too bad. Like, he'd done all the brakes and all that, but everything's tight. It drives well.
The originality of the car too is just brilliant. I mean, we look at the interior shots there, dashboard around the seats, and yeah, like you say, just like how it left forward, just brilliant.
Yeah, it's just original, except for the wheels. He put these mags on it back, 15 years ago because that's what he wanted. But yeah. I've got the original wheels to go back on it.
Armstrong steering up front.
Yeah, well, it's the first time I've driven one for a long time. So, yeah, no power steering like the old new cars.
What an iconic old film, mate. What a great car. Stuart, thanks for bringing it to my attention. Wouldn't have known about it unless you came along and got me in a headlock and said, Fletch, I want to be on your show. I didn't have much choice. I had to have him on.
And thanks, Fletch. And just on behalf of the Geelong GD Club, so we do a lot of the judging here today, and this is all the people behind me are part of our club. Yep. It's been going since '87.
Yep. Okay, people, if you are watching and would like to be a part of the club, Facebook or contact details?
Yep, it's just a Falcon GD Club, and we're just advertised everywhere online for it. So yeah, but it's mainly GTs. But if you've got a high performance Ford, you can more than welcome to join.
Time for Jim now. How are you, Jim?
Good, thanks, Fletch. Yourself?
Good. You just got back from the toilet.
You're right. Yeah. You missed me.
Well, I just can't. You went yesterday.
Oh, it was the day before.
Oh, day before. Well, look, I'm glad that you got out of there in time to do a quick interview, because the British car fraternity here in Australia is obviously around. And back in the 60s and 50s, there were quite a few British cars here in this country. Now, what you've got behind us is fairly unique. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's a 1954 Ford Zephyr. It's got a 2.3 engine in it. I put a Mark III diff in it, which is 3.5, so I could cruise with the modern cars on the highways. Other than that, I've rebuilt the whole thing myself.
Have you?
From scratch, yeah.
So what was it like when you got it? Was it a bit of Swiss cheese, plenty of rust?
Well, when I got it, a couple of my mates come up and they told me to take it straight down the tip.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah. But after 2 years, it'd become a nice looking car.
I kind of appreciate what you've done with this. It's very different. I mean, it's the only car of its type here today, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of cars here.
Yeah, that's right, yes. Actually, for that era, if you think of the size of the car and the way it's built, it was quite modern for that era. Even today, it still holds its own.
Well, being a convertible as well.
Yes, and the women love the colour of it.
Right.
And it's a lady's colour.
Yeah, what would that be?
It's a cherry red.
Well, like it's like a dusty sort of colour as well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Well, Jim, I think it's lovely that you brought this car along. It's something very, very different. And I guess when you think of the early 50s to have a convertible car, it's something that's a factory item as well. It's not what you did, is it?
No, it's originally, that came out from England back in 1954.
Yeah.
Actually, there's only 1,000 of them built in that era, convertibles.
Yeah.
They all come out from England.
All right, Jim.
Thanks very much, Fletch. Nice talking to you.
That's all right, mate. And thanks for bringing the Zephyr along here today, okay?
Thank you.
I hope you're really enjoying just some of the 2017 Geelong All Ford Day. Stay right where you are. There's more classics coming your way right after this.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
Heron Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. And with a range like this, you cannot go wrong. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House, and they're also open Saturday mornings. Their range of machine tools are workshop tested. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare and Forbes has the range. I mean, walking around this place here in Geelong for the Ford Show for 2017, is it getting any better? Hello, Dick Johnson.
Hi, Fletch. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. You?
I'm just fine.
Yeah. Fancy seeing you here surrounded by Fords.
That's amazing, isn't it? You know, to connect my name with a Ford, you've got to be kidding. But I've been to quite a few of these, and they get bigger and better every year.
It's always quite surreal when I stand and interview Dick. It's always an absolute pleasure having you on the episode of Classic Restos. Speaking of this year for 2017, through your eyes, what are you thinking of the event?
This here is, without a doubt, I don't think you go too many places in the world where you'd see as many very different model Fords congregated in the one spot at the same time, you know. And it's a credit to the guys that work on them to bring them in because they're in pristine condition.
Yeah. Dick, when you drove throughout your career, and Stephen obviously following in your footsteps, what would have been the most iconic car? What would have been, I think I might know the answer here, but what would be your favourite?
To me, the favourite was one that won a race, to be quite honest. Look, every single car that I had, there were certainly favourite moments for every single one of them. You know, some bigger than others, but to win your first, championship in a car that you build in the garage at home and things like that, with just myself and one other person, was very pleasing when you're against the factories and things like that. But that's what, having the passion and doing something that you've always wanted to do.
I don't know if you're quite aware of the impact that you've had on a lot of enthusiasts over the years. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'll get a tear in the eye watching True Blue. I mean, if I watch some old Bathurst video footage and see True Blue going around there, that does something for me. I mean, I had an XD myself for 13 years, so I mean, I don't know if that's part of it or not, but wow, that's iconic stuff.
Talk about the tear in the eye, mate. It was from the fuel.
The greenies are still after you too for cleaning up the forest.
Oh, that's all right, mate. Like they say, there's three things when you have, you've obviously got all those sort of factors at Bathurst, and you've got metal or whatever you call it, which I hit the rock, and then I hit the tree, and I tell you what, I really, really was very concerned when a dog ran in front of me across the top of the mountain in Bathurst in the Sierra, and I thought I might have got the trifecta, but I missed.
There's no doubt about it. My hat comes off to everyone that's ever raced there. My goodness, I mean, one of the most iconic racetracks in the world.
Without a doubt. And when the Europeans come out here and look at the place, and they cannot believe just how elevated it is and things like that, because television really flattens everything out and makes it look flat. But
that's my story. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I won't go too far with that. But
look how flat I look.
And even to the point where they can't believe how narrow it is and how steep it is in certain parts. But they have the luxury these days of being able to drive around it on these simulators and things like that.
Yep.
And so they know exactly which way the racetrack goes.
Was it true, Dick, that back in the times, like when the racetrack maybe had a road surface, a new upgrade, that used to throw you guys out here and there because you'd be used to the little jumps and the little bumps, and when it had the new surface on it, well, that'd be taken away.
Well, for me, it wasn't so much the surface. It was when you go up out of the cutting and sort of there's a right-hand kink before you head to the top of the mountain. There used to be a tree that used to hang out over the track, so to speak, and that was right on the apex of the corner. So that's what you used to line up. Then they cut it down, so we had to relearn the track in that part.
Yeah, no apex to go for, Dick.
Exactly right, mate. I thought it was a club.
Dick, again, absolute pleasure interviewing you, mate. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure, Fletch, to be quite honest, but to see all these cars here, I just hope it keeps going forever. It's fantastic.
Good on you, mate.
Cheers.
Moving on through, a two-door car. Things don't get much prettier than this. A 1966 XP Falcon Deluxe. How you doing, Pino?
Good, thanks, Fletch. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. This is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. My prize girl.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, everywhere you look, I mean, you could almost play a competition here, find a fault, and it'd be a pretty boring sort of a game because it doesn't have any. It's just flawless.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah. So, yeah, I've restored her she's been like this for about, 6-7 years now. So, took me about 3.5 years to restore.
Yeah. What made you choose the 66? Did it just come along, Pino, or was it something that a particular model that you had in mind?
No, I've always my old man had a blue XL sedan before I was even born, actually.
Yep.
But just always liked the earlies, always loved the round lights.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I always wanted a blue coupe with round lights. And
but this particular car, Pino, you're even the original interior, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's right. I actually sourced the vinyl from the US.
Yep.
So because it's difficult to get. It's the metallic vinyl, so
Yes.
I've sourced that all from the US. It would have probably cost me less to do leather. It probably would have cost me less, yeah. But yeah, so all that. So
And running up front, engine-wise, there going with the 170.
Standard 170 3-speed, and so just fairly stock. Even down to the booster, everything's all completely original.
Pino, thanks for coming onto the Ford show. I mean, I love this car. It's a brilliant example here. Before I let you go, though, you're here with your club. Tell us about that.
Here with the Early Falcon Car Club of Victoria. So we're based in. We have meetings once a month at Geelong, first Wednesday of the month, and it's a great club, great social club, and we all get along very well. So
You on Facebook?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, so it's Facebook page. So
Facebook should end up a major sponsor of this show. The amount of plugs I give them.
No, that's right. So thanks, Fletch.
But it's the way we're going with social media, and we've got to go with what works, and that's awesome, mate. Good on you.
Thanks, Fletch. Keep them going. Good work. Thank you.
Well, we got this young guy here by the name of Jason, and he wanted to know what he had to do to be interviewed for Classic Restos. So here we are. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, thanks. Yourself, Fletch?
Good, mate. Good. Now, you're quite excited. You're in the game. You've restored a car for your father, which I think is a very, very nice thing to do. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, look, basically, Dad purchased the car in 1985. Done it up as an everyday car. It was pretty clean. We used to go to All Ford Day every year since 2000. Never missed a year. And currently, I just started an apprenticeship in spray painting, and I've got an XB myself. And I started to muck around on Dad's car, and he goes, "Why don't we fix it up a bit?" I go, "Well, all right, we'll patch it up, Yep. And we started from the roof, and the door didn't line up, nothing. Bit by bit, it was a full resto.
There you go.
So we did underneath, new trim, new everything, full on, yeah.
Look, I admire your tenacity. I mean, it's a beautiful car, 1975 XB Fairmont and a wagon. It's in the department of rare. It's almost made from unobtainium. I mean, you don't see them everywhere.
Definitely, yes, I agree.
You've gone out with the paint. I mean, you've gone out with the wheel colour. You've gone out with the paint, but you've done it very, very nicely.
Thank you. Yeah. Look, basically, I wanted an eye-catching theme. The car was originally frosted lime, so I said we better do it a green, but a bit of a vibrant twist.
Yeah.
So we went with the green and gold FRs, green and gold.
Yeah.
So Yeah, good match.
You keep up the good work, Jason.
No worries, thanks, Fletch.
That's right. And I wish you well in the future endeavours with your apprenticeship and your trade, and you keep it all going, eh?
Thank you very much, Fletch. Thank you.
Well, talk about an event where the pictures speak for itself. Just some of the 2017 Geelong Kiwanis All Ford Day. And if you'd like to be a part of helping out in the organisation of 2018, perhaps you're a car club, get in touch. They'd really love to hear from you. As I say at the end of every episode, until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm and Duncan Foster Engineering.